everybody. Welcome to a new season of Geek Snobs, your intermittent podcast of geek news and opinions. My name's Rijo.
And I'm Mondo.
And this time we're here to cover stuff that we probably should have been covering in our little break, but we're not going to. We're going to cover stuff that's new and now and newsy, because it's nowsy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're excited.
What's up, Rijo? How you doing?
Pretty good. You?
Yeah, not too bad. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out whether I like my eggs fried or fertilized. Yeah, I gotta watch that video. It's on our Facebook page. You have to.
Yeah, please.
If you're listening, you basically signed a contract that you're going to watch that video.
Our lawyers will appear at your homes or places of work. If that's your thing. And they will force you to watch that. They'll have individual phones meant only to watch that video. And
they're going to keep forcing your face when you turn around. They're going to force it back, like in this video.
Yeah, definitely. If you like laughing at just really uncomfortable stuff, definitely watch that video.
Fried or fertilized. It's on our Facebook page. Wow.
It's Geek Snobs approved. All right, so this episode, like I said, we're going to be talking about the news that has come out just recently, and all within about the past week, really.
All right, most of it's within the week, yeah.
Yeah. So, first off, we're going to do our little news snippets or news bites. I don't know. But it'll be like bites with the Y. We still don't have a name for this news segment still. And
I don't think we're ever going to come up with anything.
Yeah. News! All right. Something I was really interested in. Sony has kind of hinted that they might be remastering more PS3 generation games for the PS4. Of course, it's already been done with Tomb Raider way back, I think it was in January, but that was for all platforms. That was for Xbox One and PS4. And of course, it looked beautiful. It's amazing. I didn't really play it. I just looked at it, but it's a great game. If you guys haven't played it, play it. PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4, whichever. Just play it. It's really good. But what kind of instigated this is they're doing it with The Last of Us, which comes out in just a couple of weeks after this is being recorded. Of course, it's going to look prettier. It's just, they've hyped up the graphics on that. I think that's really cool because, and they pretty much cover it in their little topic. They want to make sure that while there were Sony exclusive games for the PS3, that anyone who didn't have a PS3 at the time doesn't miss out on them.
So people who don't necessarily play PlayStation games, like myself, but I've heard people talk about it, like yourself, can now get to play it.
Yes, Last of Us is so good, you should play it. And I think it's a great idea, and especially if they want to have some of their legacy titles kind of move along. I'm wondering if they're going to do something like an Uncharted trilogy type thing, where they have all three of the Uncharted PS3 games, maybe on a disc or at least a package, that'll be released either just before or at the time of Uncharted 4's release, which will probably be next year. That would be really awesome, because those games are pretty enough as it is. Bump up the visual quality, and it's going to be amazing. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. You think they'll cross-platform, if they were to do something like Uncharted all in one disc, you think they'd cross-platform that also?
Probably not.
That's unfortunate. I'd really like to play Uncharted.
Yeah, the whole thing about that is this is meant to be specifically for their exclusive, so it's probably going to be Killzone, Resistance, which would be really awesome if they bring back those servers, because I've always wanted to try that multiplayer game. Killzone, Resistance, Uncharted. What would be really cool is that if they start reaching further back into like the PS2 era, and you start bringing over
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts,
dude. If they brought back Kingdom Hearts, I'd probably buy a PS4. Dude, I'd probably steal a PS4.
Probably break into an old person's home, and for some reason they would have a PS4, and you take that.
Yeah, while they're watching The View.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, they did all this with the PS3 versions. They actually brought over high-def versions of the PS2s, but if they keep doing that for PS4, that's a great idea. It's a super cool idea.
Or Chrono Trigger, if they brought back Chrono Trigger, yeah. Too. Or like it just made like a new Chrono Trigger, for the PS4. I'd probably end up buying it.
Go talk to Square Enix about that. All right.
I'll be back.
3 days later. All right, everybody. So,
oh man, coming to you from jail because I broke into Square Enix to steal their PS4s.
But even though they don't, anyways,
they don't exist.
The games haven't, but anyways, the hopes. All right. Next up, which something that was just come out, 2 bits of Xbox news that have come out over the past couple hours. Actually, it's all been today. Microsoft announced that the Xbox One sales have supposedly doubled from May to June, and that's being attributed to the fact that they're releasing the version of the Xbox One without the Kinect. I'm pretty sure we covered this in the last...
Or one of the last episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the exact last episode, but...
I'm going to say last. I don't know. It's the only one that counts for me.
But yeah, so it's now on par as far as price with the PS4 because it's being sold without the Kinect, for those that don't know.
Yeah. And we talked about it. We thought it was a good idea. I did kind of lament the fact that it was kind of their thing. They should just stick with their thing, but screw it. They realized they failed with what they were going for. So they're
when your thing sucks, just change.
But yeah, it's a cool idea. Good for them, you know. I think one of the things that kind of goes alongside with this is something else that was announced today. I guess kind of focused also on the fact that they want to head back towards gaming instead of having this giant we're watching you all the time and whatever thing is they're supposed to getting out of the original programming business. It was announced way back, was in February or March, and they had their Xbox One announcement that they were going to have Xbox One TV with Halo and Halo and Halo and Halo and a bunch of other stuff and Halo or whatever. But supposedly dropping out of that.
That's your go-to voice when you're mocking something.
Of course it is. You would like that, wouldn't you?
Hey,
I should really stop. All right. All right, but yeah, they had said we're going to be doing a Halo TV series with Steven Spielberg producing or whatever, which he probably doesn't give a shit about. He's just here, have some money. What are you doing? Okay, for whatever. Just get away from me, waiter. There also was a few other original bits of programming and other programming tied with other games, which would have been interesting. That's kind of cool. The idea is kind of they're heading into the Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all that business where they're having their own original programming. I can understand that, but apparently Microsoft is not doing so well, so they pretty much canned about 18,000 people, including employees from the recently acquired Nokia division. And they're trimming down. Yeah, it's a lot of people. And they're trimming down the original programming to just the Halo TV series, the Halo Nightfall thing. I think it was a movie, and the ET documentary. And doesn't sound like there's any real plans right now for them continuing anything past that. And I'm thinking maybe the Halo series is going to be one season now, if they're going to be quitting it all completely.
Right.
That's cool, I guess. I mean, it's good for them if they are trying to focus back on games, because that was one of, I know, my biggest complaints about the Xbox One announcement.
Right, that they were putting their 2 feet into 8 things at the same time.
Yeah, they were putting all their chips in a billion baskets.
Right, exactly.
Weird thing about it, though, is Sony also announced something similar, and they've been dropping hints and little bits of news regarding the Powers TV series that's going to be available on PS4, and I'm really excited for that. But I think it's mostly just because it's Powers. I was really
that, and because you're a Sony fanboy, so
yeah, maybe a little bit. But it's Powers. It's Brian Michael Bendis, who we are going to be getting to later on in this episode. Brian Michael Bendis doing one of his cool indie ideas, and I like the idea of that being a TV show.
We were also kind of split. We're all right, cool. They're gonna refocus and let's do this the right way. But there's also 18,000 people that lost their job. But so yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, 18,000 people can lose their job if it means I'm gonna like gaming again. Joking, kidding.
You're
it's
not
actually pretty
joking.
awful. A little bit joking. So there's that.
But we're also talking about how we have to take this the story with a little grain of salt because there's no actual numbers to support this. It's just like Xbox or Microsoft saying, "Yeah, they doubled," Yeah,
we're selling better. That's true. One of the weird things we caught on when we were reading the Forbes article is that they also said that there was an uptick in their sales for the Xbox 360.
You see, it said solid growth in Xbox 360 sales. Now, does that specifically mean that there's console sales, or is that like the games for the consoles also? Because I'm still buying 360 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Well, that's true. We could question that, but at least from the focus of the article, it was just regarding consoles.
The console, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't trust these people.
You don't trust Forbes?
I don't trust any. No, it's Microsoft mainly. Even though I like their product, it doesn't mean I trust them as a company. You know what? To tell you the truth, I think we said this before. Also, like as long as PS4 would just change their freaking controllers, I'd be all right. I'd buy a PS4.
I really like the PS4 controller. I was okay with the PS3 controller. I can kind of see where people have problems with it, or had problems with it. But I do like the extra little bit of size and weight that they've added to the PS4. So maybe you'll be more comfortable with that.
Maybe.
But you're probably one of the ones who, I have to have my joysticks and like all diagonal and stuff. Hey, mine do. And they love Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, I'm doing that voice again. All right. We're moving on.
Mario Kart 8.
It's a break. Mario Kart 8.
It rules.
Keep hearing really good things about it. Man,
I just figured I'd give a Nintendo shout out since we Sony'd and Xbox'd it. So
or
Sony
Nintendo. Let me just pat their head. Go have a granola bar outside. Enjoy the sun, Nintendo. I don't know why I rag on them so much. I really don't. Anyways, moving past.
So the next thing we're going to do, or that Rejo's going to do, is he's going to go ahead and give a 2-minute review in 30 seconds on...
Boom. It's going to be on Joe Hill's sophomore novel, Horns, which I finished... What's today? Thursday? I finished yesterday. Anyways,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to... My days roll. All right. Which I finished fairly recently, within the past couple of days. And pretty much within an hour, I learned that there was going to be a movie made about it. And then about an hour after that, I learned that there was a trailer released that very day for the movie. So, it was weird serendipity. But
it was the only time that I've been ahead of the curve on that news. You were like, "Hey, did you know they're gonna?" I was like, "Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe." Like, I know.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my god!" It's probably because you were on the internet that day. I wasn't. I was finishing up a book. All right, but so it's a 2-minute review starting.
Go
now. All right. So Horns is about this dude whose ex-girlfriend is killed, and it's kind of mysterious. A lot of people blame him for it, and he was drunk at the time, so he doesn't really have a good excuse. A lot of people don't believe him. Now, what happens is that he wakes up at the very beginning of the novel after a really bad bender, and he has horns on his head. So these horns apparently give him the ability, but it's not really an ability. These horns really just make people confess all their thoughts to him, and not really sins, but just their thoughts. And this turns into this giant, it's almost like I shouldn't say giant, but like a thriller where he has to find out the murderer of his ex-girlfriend, and there's a little twist of what happens, and from there it turns into a revenge romance drama. And there's so much really good so much conversation and dialogue in it that a lot of it felt too realistic, too spot on. I cried, I laughed, I cheered in several instances, and at the very end, I felt so nice and warm. Horns, go read it and maybe go watch the movie.
Woo!
I'm pretty sure
that was 1 minute, dude.
That was 1 minute. Yeah, it was a 2-minute review in 1 minute. Suck it, people.
My read was better than yours.
All right. But yeah, definitely Horns, read it. Oh my god, I did not expect that book to be as good as it is. For those who don't know, and I didn't know until after I finished reading his first book a couple of years ago, Heart-Shaped Box, he's actually Stephen King's son. And he made a name for himself first as Joe Hill without telling anyone because he didn't want to have that name kind of affect people's view of him. And frankly, Specifically with horns, he's maybe surpassing his dad in how good his writing is.
Is Heart-Shaped Box the Nirvana song? Like, is it just the Nirvana song?
It's a reference. It's a reference to it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe he just wrote the lyrics to the Nirvana song. You're like, this is awesome.
It's amazing. 300 pages of this. But no, it's actually a reference. So he's a real big music and science fiction and fantasy and horror and comic book geek. So his stuff, it has
I think saying the word geek alone would have sufficed with all that.
Probably. No, because I mean, there's weed geeks, I guess. I don't know.
God.
Yeah, I don't know. But he's a real big geek, and he lets it show. He lets it show on his Twitter, and he definitely lets it show in his writing. It's phenomenal. All right, Horns by Joe Hill. Go get it.
Get it.
Get it. All right, now from here we'll be heading into.
But you said that Horns. I'm sorry, but you said that Horns was probably going to be a movie, right?
No, it actually is a movie.
Oh, it is a movie. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Right, Daniel Radcliffe. What the hell am I talking about? I'm the one that said that.
I don't know. It was actually released in some film festivals last year, and I guess they found a distributor or whatever, so it's coming out this Halloween.
Of course, they had to wait till Halloween.
Which, I kind of don't understand that, because it's not that kind of movie. If they follow even just the basic structure of the story, it's not a horror story. It's, like I said, it's like a revenge romance.
Yeah, but it's the Hollywood. We've gone over this several times.
Yeah, I know.
It says horns, devilish.
Devil, yeah.
Halloween.
So good, though. Oh, there's so many good things in that book, though. All right.
So, speaking of movies, the next thing we're going to talk about, I believe, is leading up to like a huge movie, right?
Yes.
That's the whole thing.
I think.
Yeah. It's kind of vague right now. But we're gonna talk about like the Monsters Avengers League. And basically what it is...
Best way to put it.
Yeah. Basically what it is it's Universal going back into its vaults and getting all its old-timey monsters, right? There's nothing else to call them, right?
No, it's the Universal monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman.
No, this is Frankenstein, dude.
Shut up. I'm not going to say that.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Invisible Man. Bride of Frankenstein's monster. And the Mummy. I believe those are the only ones they're tapping right now, or looking into right now.
Which is all it should be, but either way... just go ahead. I don't know if I want to cover this because I might be vomiting.
Well, basically what they're going to do is try and, from what I got from the reading, is that they're going to try and make their own, bring them back, make their movies, but then like make this huge movie with them, a la the Avengers and Justice League. Hence my Monsters Avengers League. To me, it's going to be more like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because it's going to annoy me because it's very easily messed up. It's going to be messed up so easily. But honestly, it if done well, it can be total awesome. But that doesn't. I'm not hopeful because they got the guy that wrote the Fast and the Furious movies. The first 5. I'm sorry. Yeah. I should specify that he wasn't part of this last one. What's his name? Morgan, right?
Chris Morgan. Yeah.
Chris Morgan. To come in on this along with Alec Kurtzman, who Star Trek I'm okay with. Transformers. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. He didn't do the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if anyone follows Hollywood, he's usually partnered up with Robert Orci.
Right, and they just broke up.
Yeah, they had a divorce or whatever it is. And now they're, at least movie-wise, they're working separately. And was
Orci like the sane part? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they were both awful.
Was he the Paul Simon to the art people?
Wow. See if that keeps going. But yeah, so apparently from what I read of the same similar articles is that what the hell?
Wow.
From the same sort of articles is they want to try and of course do individual movies, see if you get where they're coming from with this. Individual movies, so you have kind of like Dracula, and it'll have whoever, some, I don't know, Liam Hemsworth or whatever. I don't want to see this. And of course, the separate movies for the Mummy and the Wolfman or whatever. But then they're all going to join together. They're going to have one big. They're doing the stupid Marvel thing.
Yeah,
I hate you, Marvel. They've said this so much. I hate you, Marvel.
But
Marvel, I hate you.
Here's
I hate
the thing.
you, Marvel.
They're doing it for what? Like, are they coming? No. But are they coming to get like? My point. The Marvel thing, the Avengers, like they each had their separate, but they came like together to fight the aliens or whatever. What would these monsters be coming together to fight?
I don't know.
The Avengers?
I would. Oh, awesome. Wait, who does Universal own? Doesn't Universal own like Fantastic Four or something? So maybe they all join together. Okay, anyways, but no. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, maybe they come back to fight dinosaurs because they own Jurassic Park.
That would be awesome. Lost World is going to be shoehorned into that as well, right? So it's going to be, all the horror monsters, and then Lost World, and then 7-8 years down the line, boom, you're going to have all of it together. I don't know about that. But what would be kind of interesting is and I would really like if they did this, but this is me totally fanboying out, Cthulhu. If they did like some giant like H.P. Lovecraft mythos thing that all these horror monsters are involved in somehow, and then fighting against. I don't know why they would fight against it, but just fighting against. That'd be so cool.
So, like, the creature from the Black Lagoon would team up with Dracula to be Cthulhu. How?
Dude, I don't know. Well, Cthulhu is imprisoned underwater in Rillier, right? Uh-huh. And maybe the creature from the Black Lagoon movie would have him fighting off deep ones, which are kind of like weird fish creatures and worshippers of another mythos god, Dagon. So, maybe it's Dagon instead.
But they came to the Black Lagoon? Because from what I remember, the creature from the Black Lagoon could not leave the Black Lagoon area. Because he's protected.
He's fine. It'll just be the creature now.
Damn it.
I'm telling you, I could write these for these guys. All right, but yeah, if they do some some free property like the Cthulhu mythos and just shoehorn that in there, like I was saying with Fantastic Four and Lost World. Yeah, I'm not excited for this.
Well, the first one that's coming out is The Mummy, and it's coming out in 2016.
Wow.
So since I'm already assuming that it's going to be like League of the Extraordinary Gentlemen, I'm going to assume that The Mummy is going to be what's his name? God damn, I can't remember his name. Sean Connery.
It's going to be the Mummy of the movie Alan Quartermain. That'd be kind of cool.
So the Mummy would be using like a rifle? So good.
Dracula. Actually, I am very much adverse to reboots, but if they did a really good, more honest version of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the comic, I would be there.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh my god,
that was kind of like our thing for years, right? Like, why did they have to mess it up?
Yeah, like there's no reason for them to have made that movie that way at all. And I'm gonna go off on a huge tangent here. They could have just been inspired by the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and decided, hey, you know what? Since that comic series took its literary roots to heart, let's make a movie, like a meta movie about movies. So like they have the Tarzan or the movie version of Tarzan and a bunch of other just weird stuff that's movie specific and not literary. They should have done that. That could have been a horrible movie, like the movie actually was, but I would have respected that a lot more.
But wouldn't that have just been like the whole like Marvel thing anyway? They put all but they wouldn't have had single movies all together. It would have just been one big movie.
Right, and just like in the comics, it could have had backgrounds that alluded to other stuff, because that would have been really awesome. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going to do with these. If they do, that would be kind of interesting, but they'll still probably be horrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're already pissing you off by having their own separate movies anyway.
So. I don't know why they're doing that. And are they gonna? I mean, they're gonna be doing this, right? And the Universal monsters are like a giant property, well known for nearly 100 years now.
Yeah.
They're heading a lot closer. It's closer to 100 than 50. What they should do is then reboot Abbott and Costello. So, boom, right there. You have Abbott and Costello being the through line for all of those, because it's going to be Dracula and Abbott and Costello in there, maybe like hiring Dracula at the end. Like one of them will have like an eye patch and be black.
So
and then
somebody like that's working on this project is for some reason listening to our podcast, and it's gonna be like, who let this out?
Kurtzman.
Who let it out? Come on, there's no way they know about this. That's who they're.
Someone told them about Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, of course that's who the monsters are ganging up to fight in the big movie.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh, like an evil Costello.
No, why do they have to be? They could be the evil ones. The good guys could be like the antagonist in the big movie.
I guess. I don't know. I don't like this idea now.
And then, like, of
I don't like
course,
this fictional idea we made up.
and of course, like, to get all these monsters together, they're all gonna have to like drive fast cars every time they like go get another one.
Oh my god, they're gonna have to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're gonna have to. Oh man.
Like Frankie's gonna look at the Invisible Man, which is gonna be nobody, obviously, and gonna be like, "Time to pick up Drek," and then like you're just gonna, like, I don't know. Hear a or something, and then they're just going to take off into the wind. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Oh. I didn't even think about them trying to modernize it. That's going to be awful. I just didn't like the idea, but yeah, now they're going to have to add like all those really horrible tropes that are in movies nowadays, and it's going to be terrible.
It's going to be awesomely terrible. The Bride of Frankenstein is going to be like, her hair is going to be like, swaying in the wind and.
Yeah.
Where do we like send like our ideas?
Hell,
I'm suddenly liking this.
Yeah. Oh man,
Monsters Avengers League 2020. Check it out.
Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, now moving from stuff we may or may not want to, but more than likely not want to see, to something like more, that we're on board with. Is
Definitely.
Oh yeah, is the latest Marvel news, which I'm pretty sure by now everybody's heard of because everybody watches The View. So,
they're America's gay moms. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the new Thor is now a girl? A female, right? Not a girl. A female.
Yeah, a female.
Because I don't think she's like 12 or anything.
Yeah. That would also be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Like if she was like all like scrawny and scraggly, and then like she did something really awesome, so Odin was like, "You're worthy."
Yeah.
And my son's a jerk.
Yeah. He doesn't need this anymore. And just hands her the
throws Mjolnir at her.
Yeah, but she's so badass she catches it.
Well, yeah, she puts her hands up to like block it, and then it just lands in her hands, and she gets all like.
Or the strap gets around her arm. She swings it around or something. I don't know. Yes.
Shazam!
Yes. Yes, I'm so excited about this. What depressed me so much on reading about it yesterday morning is people, oh my god, there's a woman.
I didn't understand a word you just said.
I was doing my mocking voice to like the nth degree. People were just like, oh my god, there's a woman now, whatever. Why are you being so pissy about it? Like, why?
Yeah, I was reading like the article, and it was, whatever, it's information. But then like all the comments, I was like, what?
Yeah, no, it's internet comments turned up by like one notch or something, because they're all pretty awful most of the time. But I don't get it. I don't see the hate. And there was one specific article, I know, I'm pretty sure I put it up on the Facebook page, where they said, you know what, like the whole premise is that anyone who's worthy enough can pick up Mjolnir. And that's been proven time and time again, because we've had like alien Thors and all that. So it doesn't have to be like some blonde construction worker.
Adventures in Babysitting reference, great.
Well, it's actually Thor. Anyways, but yeah, it's awful. Like, why would you be so pissed about that? And that kind of follows along with, at least my opinion, on last night's reveal that Captain America is now going to be replaced by Falcon.
Yeah,
Black Captain America. Badass. So badass.
Yeah, like Steve Rogers, awesome. Like nobody's like, I'm glad Steve Rogers is gone. No, like if you're like a fan, then you're a fan, and it's cool. Yeah. But most of these like complaints, and primarily on the Thor side, more so than on the Captain America side, because that just happened last night.
Yeah.
Like people have taken the names before, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Captain America wasn't even always Captain America. You know, Bucky took it, right?
Yeah.
And then that other dude that was like U.S. agent. Yes, I know, U.S. agent reference.
Right.
Yes, I know. You
Get
can
off the podcast.
you can punch me later. But U.S. agent, you know, he took Captain America's place for a while, and so I don't understand like what the big deal is. Like, it's weird.
people stuck in their ways, and I remember this kind of outcry from people who weren't comic fans when Miles Morales was announced as
Spidey
as Ultimate Spidey. Yeah. One, it's Ultimate Spidey. It's from a line that's not as popular as Spider-Man. So Peter Parker's technically safe. It's just the alternate Peter Parker is gone. And people are like, "Oh my God, Spider-Man should be white. It should be Peter Parker." Like, what does it matter? It's Spider-Man. Like, as long as the icon is there, it should be fine. And then it should be completely okay.
And then I think this, to me, like hails back more to like when Miss Marvel was announced, like was a Muslim teenager.
Oh my! And I've heard those are so good. I want to pick those up because I keep hearing they're really good.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't been able to. No, that's not true. I did read one. I read the first one because it was free on, I believe, X Comics. No, on X Comics. Okay. And yeah, it was good. I mean, it was a origin type thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Like, why would you get mad? So what? It's Miss Marvel, dude. It's not like you were thinking about Miss Marvel the week before you heard about this anyway.
The like 3 giant Miss Marvel fans were like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, like 2 of them were like, "Ooh, a young girl."
Oh, you're probably right. But yeah, it's so awful. Like, the whole thing is that. It's a complaint I've been having more and more, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast, just in entertainment in general, diversity. Why the hell not? Why not have a girl or a female core superhero? Or why not have other core superheroes of minorities? Because you know what? And I was thinking about this earlier today when I was thinking about the complaint, some of the few complaints that I've actually managed to read about Captain America. If anyone doesn't know, I am myself, I don't know about Mondo, but I myself am of Mexican descent.
Oh, I was like, what are you going to say? That you wouldn't know that I was also.
All right. But yeah, and I grew up reading comic books, and you know what? You guys know this, I'm sure. Comic book heroes are almost all white. They really are.
Before like 2000s, definitely.
Yeah, before 2000s, when we were growing up.
Yeah. We're old, by the way.
Yes, we're quite old. My bones are aching. And you know what? It didn't matter to me because it wasn't the color of the dude. I was looking at the content of the character in the icon.
That's right, MLK. The color of his skin.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to somehow mash together Stanley and MLK here, but but it's the premise of the icon and not the color of their character that should matter. And as long as we have characters that are really well written, that are interesting and get us pumped when we read their stories, who gives a crap if they don't have a penis or if they don't have a pale skin color? Like, it shouldn't matter.
You mean attached to them, not like as a weapon. To them,
right. I mean, maybe they have it in a bag somewhere. Maybe not be a comic I'd want to read, but it shouldn't matter. And it shouldn't be something someone's complaining about unless somehow you are so immensely insecure about your own lot in life that you have to complain about it.
That's mainly like people who complain about these type of things anyway. Like,
I complain about a lot of stuff. I'm okay with
No, I said these type of things though, specifically. Like gender and race issues. They're generally like insecure anyway, so.
That's true. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the article that I was reading about the Thor, it was on Wired, the female Thor.
I read that one.
And they were like, in 2011 is when you were talking about Miles Morales came out as Spidey.
Yeah.
Or not came out, but he became Spidey. And then in 2012, the Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, came out that he was gay.
Right.
Batwoman also came out of the closet, and Bat Gordon, Barbara Gordon got a transgender roommate.
And that's cool. I really like that. One, and like they say in the recent, I think it was Axel Alonso was saying this in regards to I think it was the Captain America news. They're doing what Marvel's always done and kind of reflect the times. And it's exactly what they're doing. And I'm glad DC's kind of going along with this. And I'm also really glad that, at least for the foreseeable future, with Thor and Captain America, it doesn't seem like it's a stunt. It's not a publicity stunt. And I remember being kind of worried about that with Miles Morales when that was announced. But he still technically is Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't think the comics are being published right now, unfortunately, because sales started going down at that time. And that read into that what you will.
It's all the anti-Hispanic sentiments.
Right? Yeah.
Because they think he's from Honduras. Damn it.
Yeah, put Spidey back on that bus and get him out of here. But he's still there. They're actually, I think it's supposed to be this year or next year, supposed to bring him back in another Ultimate Spidey line. So he's still there.
Nice.
They didn't back off from that. So kudos Marvel Comics for doing something amazing. To hell with you, Marvel movies, for ruining the way movies are made now. Let's just get that clear. All right.
Here, this is what I want to posit. If these people would have come out when the originally Thor originally was put out, and Spider-Man and Miss Marvel, if they would have come out originally as, I guess, minorities or just different non-white, I guess, would they have been as popular?
No.
Would people still have been reading them? And if they would have put them out like that, and they were being changed to white people now, would it be such a big deal?
One, I don't think they would have been anywhere near as popular. Probably just run a couple of issues and that's it. Hell, X-Men, if you remember, was canceled back in the 70s because I guess the whole premise wasn't as interesting to people. So, yeah, I'm going to say no. But if they had continued and they're being changed to white people now, I don't know.
It wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, probably not.
No, people wouldn't. I'm going to say that at least 75% of the people wouldn't have as big a problem with it. There are some purists that would have been like, no, that's not the original character. You can't do that.
That would have been me. I'm kidding.
Right. But, because there's like recently I heard also this week that they're bringing back the turtle. I think that's what it's called. The green turtle, excuse me. The green turtle is one of the, if not the first Asian American superhero.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they're redoing him. And the whole thing is that in the original comic book, I can't remember what company it is, unfortunately. They didn't want them to show the face of the person because they didn't. Well, because he was Asian,
right?
Asian American, but they didn't want to have any Asian connections because at the time when it was out, it was during World War II, obviously, and so like you would only see like the person punching, or you would see like the back while he's grabbing the bad guy.
Right.
So, but now the people who are taking on the endeavor to redo it are like, no, we're definitely going to put it out there. And he's like, he's Asian American. It's no big deal. And people are like, okay. But, there's still some people that are like, well, you're not staying true to the comic book because you're not showing, you're going to be showing his face. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
he's
not even changing the character. So these were two questions. I was trying to prove a point also, but I'm also just interested, if people would be like jerks about it or whatever.
Yeah, there's going to be people who are jerks because there's people who are jerks about everything. But, part of me wants to say yes, people would be up in arms, but even the fact that we do live in this post-racial America, I say that in
as we can tell by the
sarcasm.
As we can tell by the whole border issue that's happening.
Yeah, I think a lot of people maybe secretly be sighing like relief out there in comic community. Like, oh, thank God, Reed Richards is no longer Reed Richardson, the black scientist or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of depressing.
Yeah, it is. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Let's brighten up.
But on a lighter note, now that Falcon is Captain America, Stephen Colbert might be the Falcon. Woo!
Totally be into that. I really would.
Yeah.
I want to see him flying around like New York and saving lives and stuff.
That'd be kind of cool. I honestly don't think it's actually going to happen, but that'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, Joe Quesada was on Colbert last night, and they showed a picture of Colbert as Falcon. It was really cool.
I'm going to say kind of off topic, other than the fact that you brought up Joe Quesada. I'm really amazed that...
Are you going to talk about fat people?
Yes. Fat people, you've come so far. Go catch your breath. Kidding. No, I'm really amazed at this guy whose art I wasn't really into back in the 90s when I first ran into him. Started reading his comics. He's done a lot of good as the head of Marvel. He's done a lot of really good changes. I don't appreciate his art. I appreciate him.
They have him on Disney XD because I have kids and they watch Disney XD, and they have this little like commercial. They have this little commercial snippet where like he shows like some Disney tween how to draw Iron Man, and he's like, "Ew, you do this." And then, like, they cut away, and then it's, like, a full drawing of Iron Man. And I was like, I don't know that you did all that.
You do this for, like, 3 hours.
But, yeah, he's Joe Quesada.
Yeah.
You got to give him some props for being Joe Quesada.
Yeah. Good on him. I don't know.
And the last thing we want to leave you all, our audience who's still listening, is again another down note, unfortunately, but it's not necessarily completely down. I mean, the last time I truly like delved into a band was with the Kung Fu Monkeys.
Woo.
But that was just the music. Like, I know who the James Cahill is, the lead singer. But like to want to know more about it, it's not really like, and that's not a knock on the Kung Fu Monkeys. It's just they didn't like. They're good and I like them,
but they didn't fire you up.
Yeah, they didn't fire me up. And then before that, it was Weezer, and then I knew more about the band, but still, it wasn't the same thing. But the first band to ever like grab me and make me want to like just totally geek out on them, as we were talking about, there's different types of geek, but like totally geek out on them and just like have all their albums in one form or another and totally want to know everything about them and just understand why these people made such a huge impact on music really in general and like a generation of people was the Ramones. And I remember listening to the Ramones growing up, maybe about the 4th, 5th grade, and then kind of understanding what they were talking about in the 7th grade. And ever since there, like, it totally changed. I would have never been in a punk rock band or, pop punk band if I hadn't listened to the Ramones. I wouldn't have gotten into quote unquote alternative music if it wasn't for Ramones. I'd still be listening to rap or something, or chorus line.
You'd still be up front at those Belle Biv DeVoe shows.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I still would. I'd still do that now, but but I wouldn't like. I would by this time know everything about Ricky Bell and Ronnie DeVoe. Wait, what? As opposed to just their names.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And Michael Bivins. Anyways, I think everybody knows by now that the last founding member of the Ramones, Tommy Ramone, which is not his real name, obviously. I believe his real name is Iveville. I can't really pronounce it.
I thought it was Chester Ramone.
Chester Ramone?
Yeah,
no. Iveville Tomas died, passed away from suffering from complications with cancer. And it's really depressing to me. Like, he didn't start off like a lot of people nowadays like wanting to be like this huge musician, like, oh, I'm gonna make it big, you know, fly to fertilize, that kind of stuff. But he just wanted to. He just wanted to make music, and honestly, he didn't even want to play music. He wanted to produce music. And when the drummer that they had were playing for them couldn't actually drum and ended up being the singer, Joey Ramone, he had to step in and play drums, and that's what he did for 3 albums and a live album. So you know, he kind of lived his dream, and then went far and beyond it, actually playing, and then went back and produced albums like he originally wanted to.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think Tommy Ramone, to me, and I think I said this before also about Pat Wilson of Weezer, was really like what I always wanted to do on drums, was just like, you know, get a cool beat and be in the background. Don't ever be like the person up front. You know, if you want that, you fucking listen to Dream Theater, you know? But
already.
God, you do. But really depressing. All for me. All 4 now. You know, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of the Ramones went to heaven. So, yeah, Ty Ramone, you're going to be missed.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I won't say I'm as big of a fan as you. I really like, and I'll say it again, respect the Ramones. And it sucks hearing them get taken away one by one, but I don't know. It sucks. That's all I can really say.
Yep.
All I'm going to say is, why him and not, I don't know, like Bono or something?
Wow. Like
a line in the sand there, Bono. Come get me. All right.
The Edge is going to come for you.
But he's going to like beat me to death, even though he's called the Edge.
Yeah, with his bass, with his axe. Excuse me.
No. I like the discrepancy. I like that he's called the Edge, but he uses blunt instrument, so it's just going to be the guitar. It's not a...
No. I did mean his guitar. I just called it the axe.
Okay. All right,
man. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we're going to be putting up most of the stuff that we talked about today on our Facebook page. We'll be putting up the podcast, as we always do, on iTunes and everything, but also on our Facebook, our website, excuse me.
Yep.
So if you want to check out our website, it's geeksnobs.squarespace.com, or if you want to just find us on Facebook, just look up Geek Snobs.
It's fairly simple. We're still kind of debating whether or not we're going to put these up as also individual podcasts available on YouTube. Keep an eye out for that, though. Geek Snobs on YouTube. Geek Snobs.
Geek Snobs.
Yeah.
And then we're on Twitter also.
At Geek Snobs.
Yep. If you want to email us any information, if this is Bono and you want to get mad at Rijo for what he just said, just go ahead and email us at geeksnobs@gmail.com. So anything, just let us know. And thanks for listening. Laters.
Geeks out.
Badness travels fast, they say, I wish they would shut up. Cause I just found out that my favorite rock group has broke up. Joey, Johnny, Dee, Tommy, Richie, CJ too. And let's not forget Marky, who say it isn't true. But it's true, my dear, that's true, my dear. It's just the way things go. Oh gosh, I'm gonna miss the Ramones. The 60s had the Beach Boys with their super tones. The Monkees, Hermits, Leslie Gore and Rolling Stones. The 70s had classic rock and endless pile of crap. And Nixon had the White House, but he had to give that back. And then they came to save the day and take back radio. Oh gosh, I'm gonna miss the Ramones. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Oh gosh, I'm gonna miss the Ramones. The 90s had lots of great bands, it's certainly a fact. Like Egghead, MTX, and Muffs, and Queers to be exact. And while I love them all, I know that they would not exist if Form of Droplets, Rock Queens hadn't written all those hits. It's true, you know, that through, you know, it's just the way things go. Oh gosh,